Welcome and thank you for joining our webinar today. Bridging strategy and execution has never been easy, especially when your plans live in slides, your timelines live in spreadsheets, and your resource decisions live somewhere in someone's head. Now, with Tempo's tools in the program collection, made up of structure, Gantt charts, capacity planner, and custom charts, you don't have to juggle disconnected tools or guess your way through planning trade-offs. Structure organizes and visualizes work. Gantt charts align timelines. Capacity planner ensures you have the people to deliver, and custom charts gives leaders the reporting they need to make fast, confident decisions. So join us to see how decision-ready insights help you turn portfolio intent into predictable delivery. Now, before we start, I'd like to poll the audience, get to know a little bit more about who's on the call and how they're currently managing their portfolio planning in Jira. So I'm going to launch the first poll. So how are you currently managing portfolio planning in Jira? Are you using the tried and true spreadsheets? Are you using custom Jira configurations, third-party portfolio management tools, or maybe you don't actively manage portfolio planning? So we're going to give a few seconds as people are answering here. Already got some great participation. Thank you so much. So I'm going to respect for everybody's time. I'm going to end the poll, share the results. See that we have a little bit across the board here. You got about 25 people using spreadsheets, 33 using custom configurations, 26 not actively managing. Well, then this is all great because you're going to learn something today from this webinar. Thank you so much again. My name is Chris Chaplier. Everybody calls me Chappy. I'm one of the senior product marketing managers here at Tempo. And Siku is the one who'll be giving the demo of the program collection. And she's our onboarding specialist. So here's the agenda. We're doing a quick overview of the challenges teams face, what's been tried before, and then right into a pre-recorded walkthrough of the Tempo solutions that are included in our program collection. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we will not have a dedicated Q&A at the end of the demo, so please feel free to ask questions in the Zoom Q&A feature at any point during the presentation, and we'll get to those as soon as we can. Before we get into the content, I want to launch one more poll question. Now, what is your biggest challenge in aligning strategy with execution today? Is it lack of visibility in the progress, frequent reprioritization, inaccurate capacity data, or disconnected tools or processes? Going to end the poll. As you can see, pretty much across the board, almost even all these. So this is great because our solutions that we're going to show in the program collection can address all of these challenges and even solve some of them. So thank you so much again for your participation. All right, let's talk about the greatest hits we hear from PMOs, portfolio managers, and delivery leads. Basically, we hear these every single week. We don't actually know what work is happening. So apparently, we're running the company like a trust exercise where no one remembers agreeing to participate. Or everything's a priority, which is perfect, because if everything is urgent, nothing actually needs to get done. Never. Dependencies keep derailing delivery, because nothing says efficient workflow like sitting around waiting for 3 other teams to finish the thing they swore we'd done by end of day. Or the classic, we're over capacity, meaning everyone is quietly performing the workload of a small village. But sure, let's keep pretending it's fine. Or plans collapse the moment reality enters the room. And reality doesn't even knock. It just kicks the door in and rearranges all the dates. Or we can't get status updates quickly. So naturally, we launch an expedition through emails, spreadsheets, Slack threads, and whatever ancient artifacts live in Confluence. Sound familiar? So how have organizations attempted to bridge the gap from strategy to actual execution, from brilliant ideas in meetings to real work getting done? Well, here's the highlight reel. You have spreadsheets, the old standby. Yes, they're flexible. They're also the corporate equivalent of a junk drawer. Technically, everything is in there, but good luck finding anything before you age a decade. Or we have your slide decks. Fantastic for impressing people in a meeting, completely useless the moment a date shifts, a dependency changes, or reality decides to do its thing. Basically, a snapshot of a fantasy world that expired 10 minutes ago. Or you have your standalone PPM tools. Powerful? Absolutely. Practical? Only if your teams enjoy logging into a tool that exists on a remote island far, far away from where any actual work is happening. Or custom Jira dashboards. Helpful in the same way peeking through a keyhole is helpful when you're trying to understand what's going on inside the entire house. Technically, it's visibility, but it's not the kind you'd bet your roadmap on. And status meetings. Ah, yes, the classic, the most expensive, time-consuming method ever invented to share information at the slowest possible speed. If you enjoy repeating yourself, this one's for you. So let's get serious for a minute. Here's our approach. Keep everything inside Jira where the work already lives. Structure organizes the work into meaningful, highly flexible, and customizable hierarchies, helping you focus on all the info you need out of Jira and none of what you don't at any given point in time. You have your Gantt charts, traditionally an extension of structure, gives you timelines and dependencies, but this is now included as a part of the single installation with Structure Advanced. Capacity Planner ensures your people are available and balanced across initiatives. No underutilization, no overbooking, just making sure the best people with the best availability are on the best tasks and projects. And Custom Charts gives you the clear, flexible reporting you need to share progress and insights with every stakeholder, a magical tool that can turn any developer into a designer. Think of them as 4 instruments in the same band. When they play together, you actually get music instead of the usual noise. Now, the solutions being demoed today are part of our program collection, the second column. Bundled together, each collection offers an integrated set of tools that are affordable, easy to adopt, and work natively in Jira. And for a limited time, discounts are available to qualified customers. So feel free to contact us for details or visit tempo.io/collections. Now, we can always talk about these things, but it's better to see them in action. So I'm going to start the demo.
Okay. I am going to begin sharing my screen here. All right. All right. Thanks again, Chappie. Again, my name is Siku, and I'll be walking you through how to use these tools, right? So Structure, Gantt, Capacity Planner, and Custom Charts to get a true portfolio view of your work. So we talked about a lot of the common challenges people are having around visibility, planning, and reporting. So I'll show you how to use those tools together to kind of solve those things and make it less of a mystery novel, as Chappie was saying. So we're going to begin with structure. And you can think of structure as sort of a bird's eye view. This is where you can bring together all of your work across different teams, across different projects, and organize it in a way that makes sense for you or for your organization, right? So typically we see project management overseeing multiple initiatives. One team may be building a mobile app, another is working on backend integration, a third may be focused on customer-facing features. Each team has their own Jira projects, right? So when you have all of these different things working together, you want to see how do these all fit together? How do they all work together? And with structure, I can put all of those issues or epics or stories or bugs, whichever your teams are currently using, into a single hierarchy. So here we'll see my simple structure here, and this one has about 6 different levels, right? And many organizations don't just work at one level. You've got initiatives, programs, projects, epic stories, and tasks all tied together. A flat list doesn't tell you the full story. So by expanding this structure across multiple layers, in this case, we have 6 layers, we can see how strategic initiatives break all the way down into day-to-day work. So we can see all of our work at once. So at the top layer, we see our big initiatives. It gives us a our high level strategic themes. And as I start to expand out into different layers, I can start to see those epics that these teams are working on. So going a little bit deeper, we see epics, the big pieces of deliverable work that teams will be planning against. Below that, we can uncover some of the stories and tasks that individuals may be working on, just drilling down even further. So team members are actually working on these items. And at the very bottom, we're going to see like the nitty gritty of subtasks. I'll just put this all out here when we can see all of the work here. So this 6-layer view gives leaders the top-down visibility they need while still letting team members track the bottom up details, right? It connects strategy to execution. I can see not only what we're working on, but why we're working on it and how it ladders up into business goals, right? It also means when something slips at the task level, we can immediately understand the impact at the epic, project, or initiative levels. This lets you zoom in and out, giving you detailed work at the bottom, bigger picture at the top. So now that we know what our team is working on, now we need to know when are they working on it, right? And now we can layer that with the Gantt chart. This is where structure shifts from being just a list to becoming a timeline. So let's open up the Gantt chart here. Right. So if you have different teams, and you'll see all these different teams here working on their different projects, just plot it against time, right? So now it gives you the when. When are these initiatives taking place? And you're also going to see which teams are working on each items across this timeline. And in let's say in a scenario, your mobile app team can't start user testing until the backend team finishes their authentication system. That would be a dependency, right? In Gantt, you can see those relationships. I can draw a line between the backend tasks and the testing tasks. So if one slips, the other one adjusts automatically. And here's where we can see some of those dependencies here, where you can automatically see any scheduling conflicts or anything that might be coming up to stop you from reaching your goals. So it's instantly going to show me anything that may impact our overall delivery timeline. So structure is going to show me what's being worked on, and the Gantt is going to show me when and what order things will happen. And once we have our plan and structure and are looking at it in the Gantt chart, we can also take a moment to think about our resourcing. And you'll notice here our resources button right here in the toolbar. This button here is going to give us a view of how our resources are actually doing and their capacity with Capacity Planner. Now, if I click on that here, we'll see our resource usage. At the highest level, I can see capacity across multiple different teams. This gives leaders a quick way to spot which teams may be overbooked or underutilized. And we can see that with the stoplight colors. So you'll notice that red means they are over allocated, they've been assigned more work than they can realistically complete in that time frame, right? And with this, I can drill down from months and keep going into the week of how much time is planned for each team here. I've got my teams here, Beethoven designers. And if I go click into that team, I can see what each individual's capacity is within that team. And I can also click right over into Capacity Planner from Structure, which is a very beautiful thing. If I click right into it, I'll be able to open this up and take me right into Capacity Planner to dive deeper into that specific team to see exactly what they're working on. Are they over or under allocation? And the same with that green stoplight colors, right? Green means a team or an individual is comfortable within their capacity. They can handle the workload in that period. Yellow is a bit of a warning sign. They're close to the limit, so you may want to keep an eye on it. And red, obviously meaning over allocated. They are assigned more work than they can realistically complete in that time frame. So it's a great way to spot potential risks if you've assigned a little bit more work than a team or individual can handle. So if we want to dive deeper and we want to look across my entire portfolio, forecast resourcing for months in advance, or shift resources around to meet new priorities, that's where Capacity Planner is going to come in here. Capacity Planner builds on what we've done in structure, letting us not only see the work breakdown, but also map it against team availability and actual capacity. So switching into Capacity Planner here, I can see multiple teams I have here and exactly which epics they're working on. At the team level view, we'll see what epics each team is working on and whether they are under or over allocated. And it gives me a quick way to shift things around. If they're doing a little, if they are over allocated here in Q1, I can go ahead and see which team may be available to move that work into. So it gives you a quick view of, okay, maybe this team may not be able to handle this. Maybe we need to switch this over to Q2, and you can switch that over right in Capacity Planner. So where structure and Gantt shows you the work and a schedule, Capacity Planner helps you answer, do we actually have the people available to do this work? And if you've planned out, so in a scenario that you've planned out in your Gantt chart, but you realize one team only has two front end developers and they're already fully booked, that's where Capacity Planner can come in and we can go into the individual resource here and see our individual resources and which ones are over and underutilized. So you can see, oh, maybe I've given too much work to a singular person. I can go into this person at this developer here and say, okay, they might have some vacation coming up. Who can I assign this work to? Who is available to maybe take on this assignment or take on this work to make things realistic for the people that you work with. I can look at each team member's workload across multiple projects and see that maybe someone is overbooked or underutilized. And within a few clicks, I can redistribute that work. This is where the connection matters. I can see this is where connection matters. I can see that even if a timeline looks perfect in this Gantt chart and everything looks great in this Gantt chart, it may not be a fully realistic plan. So that's where you can make things realistic. Mhm. So if the plan isn't realistic, it's not going to work. So together, Gantt and Capacity Planner let you balance both your schedule and people's resources. And unlike spreadsheets and a rough estimate, Capacity Planner is going to so unlike spreadsheets, um, Capacity Planner shows us actual availability based on people's calendars, their workload profiles, and planned projects. We're not guessing at capacity here. We're working on the real data of these individuals. And this is the place where I can also make actual changes. If a team is over capacity, I can reassign work, move timelines, or even adjust priorities directly in here. It's interactive planning, not just a report. Because things change all the time, someone goes on leave, a project slips, or a new initiative comes in, this is where we can shift priorities immediately and see the downstream impact across all teams and projects. So we can even run what if scenarios. For example, what if we moved this project here to a different timeline or even a different group? What if we move this over here? Does that free up capacity? How does that impact our team capacity here? So we can even run what if plannings. Capacity Planner makes those conversations grounded in data instead of guesswork. The real value here is alignment. Um, Leaders can make trade-off decisions with full visibility, and teams can work with realistic, achievable plans instead of overloaded schedules. And I guess this is where the music happens that Chappie mentioned, making a beautiful symphony instead of loud noise and a lack of visibility. So this is where we can execute actual change and replan based on reality and not just guessing. So now that we understand what we're working on in structure, so we know what all these different teams are working on. And we've also made a plan with the Gantt chart. Um, and we've also made sure that plan is realistic with capacity planner. Now we want to tie it all together and show our leadership, all of that put together. How can we put all that in together? Because leadership may not want to, build a structure or look into structure. That's where reporting comes in. So custom charts is going to give me a fully built out dashboard of everything that we've seen so far. So it's going to show what teams are working on, and these are fully customizable. So you can build these dashboards based on the structures that you built. So no need to rebuild within your dashboard. You can pull that structure right from you can pull that structure that you've built out, that custom hierarchy that you made, and pull it right into custom charts, right? So you get all that data and you can see plan versus actual time by project, right? So what are all the projects that we've worked on? And what time did we actually spend based versus how much time, what time did we plan for versus what time did we actually spend on these projects, right? So it's going to give you a great high level overview that leadership may want to see, right? Um, so custom charts takes all that data from Jira and from structure, and it turns it into a clear visual dashboard. So if leadership may want to know where are we spending most of our time, they can get a clear overview of, okay, without having to click through multiple different screens or look through spreadsheets or go through different modules. They can come to your custom chart dashboard here and see everything that's going on at a very high level with live data. So no need for a spreadsheet or popping into multiple screens. And these are fully customizable to show leadership exactly what needs to be shown and what can be worked on in the future. So now that we've seen a few of these tools, structure shows you the what are we working on? Gantt is going to show you that when are we working on it? Capacity planner is going to keep you realistic and who is working on it. And custom charts is going to give you that large overview. So showing you exactly what's going on at a very high level. And together, these tools let you move from individual projects to true portfolio management. You can align strategy with execution, spot risk early, and communicate clearly with stakeholders. So we went from having potentially scattered data and siloed team to a connected, visual, and capacity-aware planning process. Structure gave them the big picture. Gantt gives you the timeline, and capacity planner keeps you realistic. Custom charts is going to tell your story to leadership. And that's what it all looks like in action.
Now, like Atlassian, Tempo has started bundling our solutions in collections like we talked about. What you saw today was a program collection with structure, advanced, capacity planner, and custom charts. And we're going to have another webinar on December 10th showcasing our project collection with timesheets, capacity planner, and financial manager with a little structure thrown in. By registering for this webinar, you automatically get an invite to that one, so keep an eye on your inbox. As mentioned before, for a limited time, discounts are available to qualified customers, so contact us for details or visit tempo.io/collections. Or if you'd like to just jump right in, I invite you to visit the Atlassian Marketplace. This is our page, Tempo Software, to start a free trial for any of the apps that you saw today or any of the other apps that are available. And again, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you on the next one.